Hello guys, I'm Minky. In this video, I will be giving tips and tricks to improve your gameplay and understand the game better. These tips are for new beginners or for intermediate slash casual players, meaning these tips won't make you someone as good as some pro players or some streamers that you might watch. I will release an advanced guide for later though, so make sure you stick around. We will start with the landing guide. In this game, parachuting mechanics have been changed quite multiple times, so there isn't a definitive fastest method of landing. You will land at the same time as other players who have played for quite a while, but you won't die before you land either. First off, mark the spot where you want to land. Then jump at around 1200 to 1000 meters, anywhere between that is fine. Once you jump off, go straight, which would be 165 km per hour. After reaching around 200 meters to 150 meters, hold shift or pull down your mouse button so that you could open your parachute at maximum velocity and get an initial boost or acceleration while gliding the parachute. So that's how I land most of my time and it works well for me. Hope that does for you too. Moving on, we are going to be talking about settings. A video dedicated to settings alone will be uploaded later with comparison and stuff. But as of now, these settings are used by pro players like Shroud and Cayman on their PUBG Steam version. These settings will help you increase FPS, but at the same time you will be able to spot the enemies easily out in the open. First off, turn the overall quality to very low or low. Then there are 3 things that you need to change from here on. Put anti-aliasing, view distance and textures on high or above. Medium works, but I would suggest keeping them as high as possible until your frame drops. Next up is key bindings. There's not much to change here except for a crucial one. Binding the jump key and vault key differently. Mine is set to spacebar and V for jump and vault. This gives you much more versatility while running around the map. Now bind aim to a key which you would never touch and bind ADS as right click. Move on to gameplay in settings and put ADS as hold instead of toggle. This would help in engaging and disengaging enemies quickly, as if you have both aim and ADS assigned to the same key, the game will take extra second to recognize whether you want to ADS or aim. Now next up is a mistake that you don't wanna make. Never loot while in open, and this implies to me too. Whenever I kill a guy, I instantly tend to loot him, which kills me every time, but I never learn. So make sure that there isn't anyone lurking around while you're looting. Looting brings us to our next tip, that is fast looting. Now this is very useful, especially when you just landed. It's kinda hard to explain, but once you get used to it, it will be very efficient. Right click the first item and drag the second one, or drag the first item and right click the second one. It's much faster than right clicking both of them or dragging both of them. Now as the new update just landed, ping system was added as well. With this you can communicate with your team better, which brings us to the next point, that communication is key. If you spot enemies, call that or at least pick the location. Callouts are most important part of a team based games, and with the ping system you can do callouts very easily. Hold mouse 3 or F3 to ping enemies, items or ask for ammo. Next up is very important, that is using cover. Many people generally rush so that they could get those kills and find themselves basically with no cover when they get shot. This leads to you being killed easily. Always fight using cover. Not only will your body will be less exposed to enemies, which will eventually make it harder to hit for them, that is, but also your teammates could revive you if you get knocked down without risking going out in the open. This applies to all ranges from SMG range to sniper battles. Here, as you guys could see, I used the cover element to its fullest. I knocked the first guy and instantly took cover and picked the enemy when he couldn't react fast enough. You can't win in a 1v2 spray, so you have to use every element at your disposal. Here in this next example, I used smoke as my cover because there were 2 enemies to my right and a single guy shooting from the front. My next tactic would be using smoke cover aggressively. If you smoke and just kept hiding in there, it will run out eventually, or the enemy could just spray it down. Instead, using smoke cover to your advantage and killing enemies would back them out. This is constantly putting pressure onto your enemies. Next will be some random tips and tricks. I always suggest using the 6x on a DMR rather than 8x. It's too unstable with 8x. Might as well give a 8 times to a teammate with a bolt action. Don't straight up try to master 3x and 4x sprays. First get used to red dot sprays, and once you get hang of it, then you can proceed to learn others. If you keep dying while doing hot drops, I suggest landing a place close to hot drop or just mediocre landing spots. Sure, you will improve really quick if you keep engaging enemies by doing hot drops, but if you just kept dying, it will be for nothing. So I suggest landing on mediocre landing spots and then work your way up. It's like putting a silver CSGO player on a global elite matchmaking. So spots like Sivarni, Rozhok, Georgopol buildings, Novo buildings or Milta aren't too populated, but at least 1 or 2 squads lands there. This should be enough for early game kills. This is about survival, not kill count. Couple of my squad mates are ranked grandmaster and they do the same thing. Sensitivity videos, recall master videos and analysis of AS are some of the videos that I am going to start working next, so definitely look forward to that. I feel like for beginners tutorial this much is enough. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.